Good evening. Welcome to the Derry Town Council meeting for May 20th, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to leave non-public.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to leave non-public by Councilor Granessi, seconded by Councilor Webb. On the motion, Councilor Granessi,
Yes.
Councilor Webb,
Yes.
Councilor Chase,
Yes.
Councilor Mojay.
Yes.
Owen, is Councilor Spencer online yet?
I do not see her, Mr. Chair.
And the chair votes yes. Motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes indefinitely because it's determined that divulgence of the information likely would affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilor Granessi, seconded by Councilor Webb to seal the minutes. On the motion, Councilor Granessi,
Yes.
Councilor Webb,
Yes.
Councilor Chase,
Yes.
Councilor Mojay.
Yes.
Any, anyone?
No, Mr. Chair.
And the chair votes yes, motion carries 5-0. We will do, Councilor Granessi, please lead us in the pledge.
Sure. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Please turn your cell phones off, silence them if you have them. If any event of emergency, exit to the back. If you need help, Tom Carey, glad to help everybody. All right. Councilor Granessi,
Good evening.
Councilor Webb,
Good evening.
Councilor Chase,
Good evening.
Councilor Mojay,
Good evening.
Councilor McEachran will not be joining us this evening, and Councilor Spencer will be joining us shortly, if she hasn't already.
Don't see her yet, Mr. Chair.
All right, and good evening from the chair, and to the town administrators, Dave Karen, and soon-to-be Mike Fowler, and Lynn filling in tonight. All right. Public forum,
Motion to open public forum.
Second.
motion on public forum, seconded by Councilor Webb. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public forum is now open. If you wish to speak, please come up, state your name and address.
Seeing none, rise online, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All right, motion to close public hearing. And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public hearing is now closed. Move on to consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, for your awareness, Councilor Spencer has joined the meeting remotely.
All
We're going to
right.
bring her in.
Yes, please.
She'll be in momentarily.
All right. In the meantime, we'll do the consent agenda. Item 25-54, approve non-public minutes from May 6, 2025. Those minutes are sealed. Item number 25-55, approve minutes from May 6, 2025. Item 25-56, resolution 2025-030, the CDBG authorization for Granite Estates Cooperative Residential Park. There will be a public hearing on June 3rd regarding that matter. And if someone has a motion to accept those?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move to approve the consent agenda as published.
I second.
Okay, motion by Councilor Granessi, second by Councilor Webb to accept the consent agenda. On the motion, Councilor Granessi.
Yes.
Councilor Webb.
Yes.
Councilor Spencer.
Yes.
And good evening. Councilor Chase.
Yes.
Councilor Mojay. And the chair votes yes. Motion carries 6-0. All right, jumping right into Chair's report. We have a Conservation Commission application. I move to appoint Val Connolly as a member of the Conservation Commission for a term to expire March 31st, 2028.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. On the motion, Councilor Granessi.
Yes.
Councilor Webb.
Yes.
Councilor Spencer.
Yes.
Councilor Chase.
Yes.
Councilor Mojay.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, motion carries 6-0. All right, so on the next one, we have the Municipal Records Committee, and I guess all we do tonight is just get a counselor to volunteer to go be on that board. Dave, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, it's a committee which we've had on the organization for a number of years. However, it wasn't structured per the requirements of state statute. So the council, last meeting, established a municipal records committee. One of the members is either a town council or the representative, so that's the last seat to be appointed on the committee. They probably have activity where they meet occasionally, but they do a lot of work requesting concurrence to have certain records go to the disposed of once the term expires. The state law outlines a number of different deadlines in terms of which you must hold different municipal records. So we do need a town council or a representative on the municipal records committee.
Any volunteers? All right, I nominate Counselor Jack Webb to serve as a town council representative of the Municipal Records Committee with the term to expire on March 31st, 2026.
I'll second that.
All right. We have a motion and a second. On the motion, Counselor Granessi.
Yes.
Counselor Webb.
Yes.
Counselor Spencer.
Yes.
Counselor Chase.
Yes.
Counselor Mojay.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Motion carries 6-0. That was easy.
Thanks, Jack.
All right, let me get, So, there was a bill up in Concord that recently passed the House and recently passed the Senate and is now moving on to the governor's desk, that I don't find very fitting for here in Derry. So we've drawn up a letter that I would like to send to the governor, and the councilors are welcome to sign it or welcome not to sign it. Your choice, no pressure. But for the public at home, I'll read it. It has to do with House Bill 577, which has to do with accessory dwelling units, which in my opinion will just really have a negative impact here on Derry. So I'll read the letter and we can have discussion after that for the councilors if they so choose. It says, "Dear Governor Ayotte, we respectfully request your consideration to veto House Bill 577, a bill which would allow detached accessory dwelling units in all areas of our community. Enactment of House Bill 577 would impact all neighborhoods, negatively impact property values, and introduce instability in our areas where our residents made family choices to locate for their neighborhood's character, convenience, and charm. The town of Derry has long zoned property to provide its residents with a wide array of housing opportunities. From West Derry, which is a densely settled variety of housing formerly centered around Derry's manufacturing history, to East Derry, where larger lots are preferred by our residents living there. The town has always provided for more of its fair share of workforce housing opportunities for southern New Hampshire. The town has many zones where duplexes are permitted by the choice of the local decision makers, guided by input from local voters. HB 577 would toss aside the electorate's right to participate in the local land use process and arbitrarily allow neighborhoods to be irreversibly impacted. Our citizens have made significant financial decisions and investments on where and what kind of neighborhood they choose to raise a family, only to have that process completely disregarded by state legislature, which seems intent to disregard the will of local voters. We certainly understand the need for all communities to contribute to solving the housing crisis. Unfortunately, House Bill 577 simply mandates upon communities a one-size-fits-all perceived solution without any consideration of the adverse ramifications to our residents. Further, this legislation is particularly unfair to communities like Derry, whose land planning principles consistently provide for many different housing options to fit its residents' preferences and financial means. Thank you for your consideration of our concerns regarding the permanent negative impacts resulting from the implementation of House Bill 577. Respectfully submitted, and those councilors who so choose to sign it. Is there any discussion? Anyone want to speak to this?
No, just wanted to thank you, Charlie, for putting that together, and this is an important issue to the town. One of my personal goals is to see that zoning and planning stays local and not have it ripped away by the state legislature.
Councilor Gracie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Being on the planning board for many years and the chairman and working with the, bringing in the ADUs into the town, I also agree with the letter. I'm going to sign the letter. Thank you for doing that. I also concur with Council Webb. It takes local control away from the Plan and Zoning Board. It's in the way in Derry, in ADU, we do need them, and we have a ton of housing coming up in town. But it would be a detached, another home on a property up to 950 square feet if this passes. This House Bill 577. And in Derry, it can be a 1 or 2 bedroom. In reading this, it could be a 3 or 4 bedroom. So it really, it's like putting another house and just putting a burden on everything in town, and I just think this whole bill is wrong for the town, and especially towns like Derry. So, like I said, I'm definitely gonna sign that letter, and thank you for doing that.
Thank you, and thank you to Town Administrator for his contribution to this.
Yes, thank you.
Counselor Chase?
Yeah, I'd like to echo, as a planning board member for many years, what Mr. Grinessi says. That's exactly, I can't say it any better, but he's very, very accurate on what he says. It allows somebody, and it doesn't even give pause to the fact that it can be called an ADU, but is it really an ADU? It's just a second house on a lot, and it's just a bad bill all the way around.
Counselor Spencer? Do you have anything?
Thank you. Yeah, good evening, everyone, first of all, and I apologize for background noise. I'm in the middle of a busy field clinic. Anyway, I just want to echo what everybody said. It does not sound like a good bill in any way, and it just is one more step of taking away local control. So I don't know what timing is needing to get this bill out. I would love to be able to sign it and hope I am back in time before you have to send it. But if you have to send it ahead of time, I totally understand. But I'm in full support, even if I do not get to sign my name to it.
No, we can wait till you get back and send it out then.
Okay, great. I would love to sign it then.
So, for those at home, so this is House Bill 577. You can look it up online, go on the New Hampshire General Court website, and down you can just search HB 577 and it will tell you all of it. The councilors, you all have a copy of the RSA as it was written and going to the governor's desk, and what the governor decides to do with it. Hopefully there's an overwhelming amount of opposition, and hopefully for our sake it doesn't pass.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
One more comment. I'm trying to remember, I don't know if Councilor Chase remembers the ordinance zoning. I'm gonna look it up. That way there, the public can look that's all online too. They can compare the two to actually see what we're talking about. I don't know, do you remember
I don't.
I'll look it up.
Okay, just let me know at any point and then we can fill it in.
Thank you.
And to that note, there are some other important housing bills coming up this week, Thursday at the State House, that will be voted on. And quite frankly, I hope some of those don't pass, or else we might see ourselves sitting here doing the same thing again in a couple weeks from now. So just my 2 cents on that. So thank you, councilors, for indulging with this. Moving on. Councilor Webb and I spoke earlier, and I've allotted some of my time to Councilor Webb.
Thank you. Owen, can you put up those pictures? So I just want to recognize Derry firefighter Ethan Major, who's also a staff sergeant with the Air National Guard out of Concord. He and his crew were just awarded the Rescue of the Year from the Dust Off Association. And this is this shows Ethan with his family just last week before the award ceremony. The Dust Off Association was established in 1980 by a group of Vietnam veterans to both honor veterans but honor Army medical evacuation crews. They provide support, they provide education, but they also recognize every year crews for stellar achievement, and their top award is Rescue of the Year. And this crew, in the middle of the winter, rescued a hiker off of Mount Washington in 20-degree temperatures and winds of 50 miles an hour off of a ledge. He had fallen, broken his leg while skiing, was being tended to by other skiers. The helicopter was able to fly within 80 feet of this injured skier. Only visual reference was the side of the mountain in gale-like conditions. They lowered Sergeant Major down on a rope. He secured the patient. They were able to lift the patient back up, get him in the helicopter safely. They did have some mechanical glitches because the wind was so strong, they couldn't get the door shut. So they had to land just to shut the door. In the meantime, the whole area was sub-zero conditions in the back of that helicopter. The helicopter then had to fly to Lebanon, to Dartmouth Health, under instrument landing conditions because the weather had deteriorated so much. And they actually had to fly a longer route just to be safer. And if anybody's ever climbed or been on top of Mount Washington, this ledge had underneath it 1,000-foot drop or a cliff. So this was a pretty spectacular rescue, and just shows you, the courage of Ethan Major, or Sergeant Major, and his entire crew, and just the quality of the employees that we're fortunate enough to have work for this town. So, thank you, Charlie.
Oh, thank you. And, sometimes we say it, but we don't say it enough, that we have a second to none department with police, fire, DPW, everything. We'll always stand behind our employees, and this is a good example of why we have those good caliber employees, because what they do on and off duty. So congratulations to Sergeant Major, and thank him for his service. Councilor Granessi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I found that information. It's in www.derrynh.gov, our website. If you go to the planning board page and you go to the ordinance, it's a zoning ordinance, February 21, 25, it was last updated, section 165-25, page 53. That's the accessory dwelling unit. So people could compare what our zoning regulation is to and what they want to do with this House Bill 577. So for some clarity. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And again, thank you to the town administrator for his contribution in crafting the letter with this. Moving on. Mr. Karen.
Hey, thank you. As you know, a lot of changes are going to be occurring in the next month or so. One of the changes is that Barb Mackey, who's been a long-term chief billing official here at Derry, will be retiring. And so with Mike taking the town administrator role, our new public works director will introduce our new chief billing official. Tom?
Good evening, councilors. It is with great pleasure I introduce you the town of Derry's new director of code enforcement, Carrie Owen. Carrie comes to Derry from the private sector. She worked at North Point Construction for the last 15 years as a code review specialist, a project manager, and a designer. Carrie currently has her ICC residential building inspector certification and is currently pursuing her residential plumbing, electrical, and mechanical certifications as well. She has an extensive knowledge of commercial and residential development and project management, including design, build, construction, which is very fitting for the projects that Derry is about to undertake. She's got extensive knowledge of building code requirements as well as local zoning ordinances, which is very timely as well. Although she currently resides in Auburn, she is born and raised from Derry. Her family is in Derry, so she has a vested interest in the community. As our director of code enforcement, she'll be responsible for the code enforcement activities of the town, including the building inspection as well as zoning compliance. And she will also be overseeing our Department of Public Health. So I will then turn it over to Carrie if you want to say a few words.
Sure. Thank you all for having me this evening. I'm excited to be here. Very much look forward to Derry's future and being part of things and being more involved as much as I can and helpful to the community.
Councilors, any questions, comments?
I just want to say welcome to
Thank you.
Derry. Looking
Thank you so
forward
much.
to working with you.
Same.
Yeah. Welcome to Derry. I can attest this is a great place to work.
Yes, I've heard that, yes. I'm excited.
She'll be shadowing Bob Mackey up until his June 30 retirement date. So there'll be a lot of cross-training there. So she'll be working with Bob Wentworth and Courtney Bogart as well. As you all know, a lot on her plate walking in the door, but we're very confident that Carrie has the credentials, the experience, the enthusiasm to do a really great job. So we're very excited.
Well,
Looking forward
welcome
to it. Thank
and
you.
congratulations, and you're gonna love it here. And like I just said a few minutes ago, we have, our employees are second to none. That's town-wide, so you have big
Yeah.
shoes to fill, so
I definitely do.
I'm sure you can do it.
I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But like Tom was saying, this is kind of full circle for me. Born and raised in Derry, grew up here, met my husband here, my family still lives here. I'm right on the outside of town in Auburn, and conduct a lot of my business in town, so it's very near and dear to my heart. And so I hope to provide a lot of, future growth, but opportunity in a safe way to do it, so.
well, congratulations and thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, councilors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, just two other areas I want to touch on. Finances is that sometimes during the month of May, we will have surpassed our total annual estimate for motor vehicle revenues. And at that point, we've met all our budget goals for our major revenue groups, motor vehicles, interest on investments, building permits have been really strong this year, and interest on deposits, and also the construction debris count at the transfer station. That's good news for our finances. Now that the council has approved the budget, our mark is uploading the FY26 budget, which will take effect July 1st. And also regarding our consumer price index, as you know, under our tax cap, we have an upside limit on the amount taxes can increase every year. And just a word of caution is that the media always reports, as you would expect, the national number. And the national number is always a little bit lower than the Northeast CPIU. The Northeast CPIU is the indicator we use under to determine it. It was at 3.5 as of December 31st of last year, which set the budget process for this coming fiscal year. And as of the end of April, it is at 3.1, so it's moderating a bit, which is obviously good news. On projects, Abbott Court is moving along. There's a hearing and presentation before the planning board tomorrow evening. We've also been working with our bond counsel on the bonding for the project. Those bonds will be sold on July 16th and available 30 days after that. That's moving along. It's the annual season, although it doesn't feel as warm, for larviciding for mosquito control. So that's ramping up. And as you can imagine, this spring's wet weather is not going to help us in that area. And also, carrying on from Mike's presentation from the last couple of meetings, is that the Folsom Corridor is chock full of construction activity, both on Folsom Road with respect to the Exit 4A project, Contract B, and also construction has begun on Shenito Road east of the Bypass 28. So you can expect some traffic disruptions in both of those locations. That concludes my report for this evening. Thank you.
Questions? Councilor Webb?
Just a quick question. Do you know what the status is on the ambulance billing bill?
It's still in committee. I think it's in Senate Commerce now, and there are two competing bills. One is first of all, to eliminate balance billing, and then to establish the billing rate at either 235% or 300% of the Medicaid rate, Medicare rate. The general consensus is that the ambulance providers can live with the 300% one. The 235% will have some real significant impacts on ambulance providers, including the town of Derry. I mean, this year we've budgeted about $1.4 million, and we anticipate that at that lower level, we can anticipate some reduced revenues of in excess of $100,000.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to work with the Municipal Association to hopefully arrive at that upside level of 300%.
Yeah, because I worry not only how it affects Derry, I was discussing this particular issue with somebody, is how it will discuss some of the private ambulance providers, such as Manchester, Nashua, and see them begin leaving the markets. And it's all a mutual aid system, and how that could eventually add stress to us.
And the complicating factor is if these large cities lose their contracted ambulance service, I suspect they'll want to pick up their own service as well, which will mean they'll be looking for a combination firefighter, paramedics, of which we're in dire need of. So that's just going to increase our challenge of trying to keep those positions filled.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you, Dave.
thank you. New business, 25-57, Resolution 2025-031, to transfer unexpended appropriations to the CBA Implementation Trust. Chief Financial Officer Mark Fleischer presenting. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening. How's everyone?
Good, how you doing?
Good. Okay. So back in 2017, the town council established the CBA Implementation Expendable Trust to assist with funding collective bargaining agreements. When we prepared the FY 2026 budget, the FY 2026 Allegiant Healthcare premiums for the Teamsters bargaining unit were not available. Their contract indicates health premiums cannot increase more than 8% over the previous year. Therefore, we used 8% when formulating the budget. Earlier in May, however, we received the actual rates, which increased by 6% over last year. So it was too late to change the FY '26 budget to reflect the lower percentage. So using the 6% rate yielded a total of $15,907 in unexpended appropriations in FY 2026, which is allocated as follows. Police, $560. Public Works, $11,376. DCC TIF, $215. The Water Fund, $2,338. And the Wastewater Fund, $1,418. We are recommending transferring the $15,907 to the CBA Implementation Trust in FY 2026. Any questions?
Questions? Comments? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if there's no other comments, I move that the town council adopt resolution 2025-31 to transfer unexpended appropriations to the CBA Implementation Trust. Whereas the section 9.7 of the town charter authorizes the town administrator, with approval of the majority of the town council, transfer any unencumbered appropriation balance, and whereas a town partners with Allegiant Healthcare to provide health insurance coverage to its employees, and whereas FY '26 budgeted healthcare premiums for Allegiant exceeded the amount necessary to provide coverage, and whereas the town council pursuant to resolution 2017-038 created the CBA Implementation Expendable Trust Fund to assist with funding current or future collective bargaining agreements. Now therefore be resolved in council that the town administrator is hereby authorized to transfer $15,907.00 from the following departments to the CBA Implementation Expendable Trust Fund. Department of Public Works, $11,376. Police Department, $560. DCC TIF, $215. The Water Fund, $2,338. Wastewater Fund, $1,418. This resolution shall take effect July 1, 2025.
I second.
Okay, motion by Council Granessi, second by Council Webb. On the motion, Council Granessi?
Yes.
Council Webb?
Yes.
Council Spencer?
Yes.
Council Chase?
Yes.
Council Mejia?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion carries 6-0.
Thank
You,
you.
Mark. Appreciate it. Councilors, comments, liaison reports, anything?
Mr. Chairman, just a quick thing. Taylor Library had their annual meeting. Everything's moving forward. They had a Girl Scout troop go out and do some plantings out front and clean up front. They're going to be, at the next meeting, I'll have some dates. They're going to have some activities going on in the back of the field during the summertime. And they're looking, I believe there's going to be a Boy Scout that's going to fix their wooden sign out front. Everything's moving forward at the Taylor Library, which is good.
Okay, anyone else? Council Chase?
The Highway Safety Committee reviewed the Abbott Court plans last week and had no problems with it, and as previously stated, it will be coming before the planning board tomorrow night.
Okay. Anything else? Council Spencer, do you have anything?
I do not, thank you.
Okay. Quick things, I have a flyer here, Food Truck Fridays, May 30th, June 13th, July 11th, August 1st, and September 5th. There'll be a food truck outside here at Town Hall, 14 Manning Street, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Which truck?
Huh?
Which, Mr. Chairman, which truck?
Which truck? This one says One Happy Clam.
Nice.
So, and also remind people that Memorial Day is coming up, so the Memorial Day ceremonies will be Monday, the 26th, I believe. Is that
26th.
26th.
You want this?
Councilor Grenes, you can read it, you have it.
No,
Or-
no, go ahead, Mr.
No, go ahead, I insist.
All right, so Memorial Day, which is Monday, May 26, 2025. It's going to be under the combined effort of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 1617, Derry VFW Auxiliary Post 1617, American Legion Post 9, the American Legion Auxiliary Post 9. Memorial Day services in McGregor Park, the opening remarks, invocation, Pledge of Allegiance, America the Beauty by Pinkerton Academy, Chamber Singers. There'll be a proclamation read by the chairman, guest speakers, Mr. Pappas, Ms. Hassan, and the commander, Brian Sullen. And then at approximately exactly 12 p.m., they raise the flag at the McGregor Park, and then they'll lay the wreaths and the rifle salute, and then there'll be a national anthem and benediction. And the parade kicks off at 11 a.m. It goes from Crystal Ave, from Hood Park, down Crystal Ave, Broadway, and ends at McGregor Park. And it's always a good parade. There'll be, do you want me to read the back too?
Sure.
All right, the activities for the weekend is Sunday the 24th, Veteran Cemeteries, 9 a.m., Forest Hill Cemetery. And then they're gonna do the Buddy Poppy Drive at Shaw's in Londonderry from 9 to 1 p.m. on Saturday the 24th. And then the 26th, they're gonna do memorial services at 7:15 a.m. at Holy Cross, 8:45 at Forest Hills in GAR, 9:15 to 9:30 at the VFW in the Gary Bridge. And then, like I said, the parade kickoff starting at Shaw's Plaza, 11 a.m. And then they'll have an open house for members and guests at the VFW post on Railroad Ave, 1617. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right. Take a motion.
So, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you.